shipment that goes, shipment, freight, any loading, unloading happens. Months, days, and weeks before that, there are a lot of activities, there are a lot of processes to follow, there are a lot of hard work that is already done. Procurement in logistics, so procurement in general is it's not a very simple thing, and people have to work very hard with all those processes. But in logistics, it's a different ball game. Overall, the world is very small when it comes to procurement, because procurement, specifically in logistic, it's not just that sending from one city to another. It just crosses cities, states, geographies, countries, and even oceans. So world is a very small place when you talk about logistics. My name is Rishabh. I'm a principal product manager at ProcureKey. Today we have an amazing guest, Rahul, with us. Rahul has a amazing, detailed, depth, learned background for procurement. He's a functional head for procurement at NX Logistics. By the way, NX is the same company which is Nippon Express, one of the largest logistics provider of the world that I've seen. IIT Delhi graduate, PMP certified, has done a lot of other things, but I will hear from Rahul. Rahul, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Rishabh. Thank you for inviting me, first of all. And this is first time I'm hearing that for the procurement professional, you are arranging such kind of podcast. And I hope I'm sure it is a great initiative because we were heard by less people, are most of the behind the curtain, but it's great start.
Oh, absolutely. We had been working in and out with procurement professionals. Even ProcureKey had been made by direct guidance of procurement professionals. One thing is for sure that I resonate very strongly with you is that procurement folks must be celebrated, and they are not celebrated. You always work in the background, do all the hard work, and people from the front see that, okay, a package came from there to here within 2 days. 3 days from Ireland to India, and people are very happy about it, but they don't know how hard, how critical guys like you are working in the background. So, all due respect, this series will highlight a lot of procurement professionals in coming weeks and months. And we'll talk to more such people as we are talking to you. So, thank you so much for accepting, and welcome to the show.
Thank you, Rishabh.
Let's talk more about NX Logistics. How does procurement happen at NX?
So in NX, we are a third-party logistic company mainly. So we take care of the warehousing solutions as well as the transportation for the various clients. These various clients might be some phone manufacturer. They are some of the automobiles companies, some of the quick commerce, and related to this as well. In some of the culinary equipment provider as well. In NX, like transportation, obviously taken care by the different team, but that is also the cut two three means. It is also very complicated situation when you have arranged the vehicle on time for the customer demand. The warehousing, it's like we have a very short notice to go live the warehouse from the client perspective. For example, if we are going with a 3 lakh square feet of the warehouse space, need to be with all kind of storage, scanners, IT, CCTV, office, trolleys, etc. They hardly give us 8 weeks or 10 weeks time to prepare this kind of setup. So it's a game of speed, you can say. It's a game of precision because if customer is not satisfied with your solution you have provided, that could backfire.
Oh, absolutely. I would agree that logistics, every margin in logistics are tight. Specifically, the money margin, revenue margins on logistics are very tight. Now, sometimes a bad sourcing decision is not just a number on the invoice, but rather much more bigger impact. How do you see that?
Yes, it's a very bad impact on the company reputation because one bad client can intimate and circulate this to the many others like this, and shipment delays and reroute, renegotiating of the premium, SLA breach, customer escalations, because you keep on getting these kind of customer escalation when you are going to go live for a site or the transportation business going to start. The delays are threatened to the penalties, they are threatened to cancel the contract. When they are cancel the contracts, most of the things are customized for the client requirement itself, and if
Right.
they have not been amortized during this period of time, then it will a very financial loss for the company.
Oh, absolutely. Again, I mean, the more we research about how logistic works and then how much depth it requires to work in logistics
I'll
procurement?
tell you one example. Currently, I'm sure you have heard about this ASRS. It's Automatic Storage and Retrieve System. It's a conveyor-based system where
Yes.
pod usually take the
Or yeah,
parcel to the upper racks and then go down the thing.
true.
We have installed for one of our client in Bangalore, and due to some earthing issues, the operational challenges, and we found some in a charging point electrical issue, the minor electrical issue, the proper earthing has not been done. Because of this, we have found around 5 or 10 pots has been damaged and they are non-repair conditions. Operationally, the site would be down for around 6 hour time. So that kind of things happen. We need to be very precise with the client requirement. We need to be very careful with the vendor selection. Otherwise, it would be a really mess on the operation. Right.
Now, who would imagine one faulty earthing connection makes a complete huge warehouse down for many hours, and so many number of pods are damaged beyond repairs. And that's how powerful, that's how difficult it is to manage everything very specifically. And I would like to love to know more about how NX work. How do you teamwork? What processes? What people? What cycle? What framework? We would love to hear more about that.
So sales and the solution design teams are discussion with the client for the solution providing that they are generally the requirement on the basis of the pallets, number of pallet going in and number of pallet is going out, or how many pallet we need to store, kind of thing. On the basis of this, they design a solution. Design team contact the procurement for tentative costing for the particular project, and once it will be finalized, then it come to us with the approved budget sheet. We need to manage all the show within the budget sheet, and we need to make sure the site will go live within this time frame itself, because client might be vacating some other space, or they have planned the inbound or their vehicle or their product from the factory for the particular date itself. So that's how. So based on the solution design file, we first of all, we focus on the long lead item. The contract of the long lead item first need to be finalized and executed. And later it will be some other item, the supporting, the fire extinguisher, etc., which are not the showstopper.
These days, everybody, including me, I am also a culprit of that, guilty of that. We just pick up our phones and order something very random, but it never hits us how much just of setup of warehouse, how much analysis and how much foolproof planning it requires. I'm sure from today onwards, whenever I'm ordering something from a bigger e-commerce, I'll definitely remember you and the behind all the hours of work that goes in just planning a simple small thing. So now I'll be seeing all the procurement differently, specifically when it comes to logistics. Now, talking about some processes, let me pick up the very famous or infamous Excel. Excel is an amazing tool. I am personally a fan of Excel. But one thing that I have realized, Excel is good, but it has got its limitations. How do you see Excel in terms of trackers, database, price comparisons, bid sheet, and so much things that traditionally were always on Excel, but now there are certain challenges in Excel. What is your take on that? Excel in procurement.
It has been around 15 or 16 years since I'm with the procurement department with the different industries. I have been working with many tools, including SAP or etc., which companies are using. As per my experience, it's quite flexible. You require no training, no work. Anyone can start working with it. You can send this Excel file to the management approval quickly. They are also familiar for the certain kind of screen and certain kind of read setup with the Excel. So yes, Excel is a data provider, but it cannot drive the data. That's how I can summarize this thing.
True. So for our audience, three things that made you believe, and that is the reason what makes people go away from just using Excel to use a standard process framework or tool. What would be your top three on that?
Please,
Sure, no problem.
listen.
So Excel being amazing tool, but it
Yes.
has got a limitation. Being a
Mhm.
procurement professional, being a champion of doing all these logistics procurement things, you had been using Excel for different things, databases,
Mhm.
repositories, comparison sheets. But if you would like to come up with two, three things that, these are the top three things why a standard process need to be set up, why we may have to move away from Excel to a dedicated sourcing or procurement tool.
So first thing is that to handle the data is very difficult with in the Excel. Or anyhow, it could be in a length or width. Historical data and the prices comparison will not be available in the Excel. If you need to copy every time from the certain data and then prepare a sheet, it will very time taken activity. For the historical data, you cannot refer the Excel for sure. And vendor behavior, etc., it cannot be captured. Some of the things like material master, you are coding the certain, you cannot divide the things in a category in the Excel very frequently. So these are the few I think drawback with the Excel. It can mention that you can, the guy who is sitting or a new joinee who has a no training can prepare a Excel, but he cannot add what has been done in the past and how the things can be done in the future with the help of simple Excel thing.
Absolutely. GBs and GBs and TBs and worth of data lying in terms of vendor price comparisons, past analysis, and past records. And then if you have to compare it with the current bid sheet that you got in, it becomes challenge. And doing that over Excel is definitely a lot more time consuming, very heavy process, and you invest a lot of time doing these things rather than focusing on your actual strategy on procurement.
And I just want to add one more point. This
Yeah, please.
RFQ things. When you send the RFQ on Excel, then sending mail to the vendor, then is reply, then after negotiation is reply, then compiling all things, it would be a nightmare kind of thing. When you
Okay.
are working on a, for example, when we are very short timeline, 8 to 10 weeks, and we are working on parallelly, maybe 5 or 6 tender parallelly, and on the sixth tender, there would be maybe 5 or 6 vendor you have shortlisted for the RFQ, and it would be 30 vendors. 30 vendor, you imagine the size of emails exchange and negotiation and terms which has been discussed on Excel, it would be really difficult.
Yes, absolutely. I had been, doing this business mapping and performance improvement and process improvement in a lot of organizations and have seen the pain. Every RFQ, you have got 20 vendors, 100 plus emails, 50 plus attachment, multiple version, everybody giving their own version of the attachment, and they fill up the Excel the way they would like, and it becomes a nightmare for the buyer, for the procurement professional to collate everything, to make sense out of everything, and without even losing any critical business information, because any loss of data there is practically the loss of business.
And certain times, some of the times, for example, vendor send the quotation on a Excel, they mention kind of thing, the small things like a freight extra is actual kind of thing. And when you are comparing in the your spreadsheet or comparison file, you forgot of mentioning this freight thing, that will create a conflict between you and the vendor, because things in the Excel cannot be clearly defined. You cannot set a questionnaire to the vendor to fill in a Excel, while on a tool there are certain fields which are mandatory need to be filled by the vendor.
Yes. I so much relate to that. I have seen this happening where Excel, they'll fill only the information that they would like to fill, the variation they would like to fill, and they'll put whatever they would like to fill. But when it comes to a particular tool, particular framework, they are enforced or guided to fill up details in some specific manner. You cannot put any random information at every random place, and it becomes very difficult for procurement professionals. Now, since it's a very candid discussion, let me ask you one question. What are the current pain points that you would say that, these are some really bad pain area that even procurement professionals do not say it out loud, but these are some problem that should be taken care of? What would be
Uh,
those?
Few are like that the status of the RFQ. Vendors are, you are chasing the vendors for the delivery. They are not reverting the RFQ on a time manner. Once the RFQ prepared and comparison has been done, you have sent for the management approval. They will overlook the mail, or they might not traveling somewhere. So this is also the issue. Vendor information are spread across email, Excel, WhatsApp. They send on a WhatsApp negotiated prices, but they forgot to mention on the Excel or a mail. And one more things which are pain point that even after material delivered and vendor done the invoicing and everything, they always call the procurement guy for the payment. Yeah, the phone mainly the phone is ringing like anything during the hours because not we are asking the quotation from the vendor, they are asking the status of the payment. So that's also the main issue, right?
Okay, so for our viewers, let me break it down. There is a too much of manual work that you have to chase for internal or external communication. A solution that can help you automate or digitize these chasing internal or external will make your life easier. Second, some visibility on the complete process up till the payment would definitely make you life easier, because if you and your vendor get to see on the screen that okay, your payment is in the AP system and would be processed by Friday, they know the answer and they don't have to call you and guys like you. So yes, I do feel the pain. Okay. So now, many
Yes.
years you have seen so many digital transformations over procurement. Now, not every transformation is successful. What is your first most culprit? Why digitization or automation in procurement fails?
So main flow is the your process actually in the company. Before selecting any tools or anything else, company will not define the process. I do not want to name a company. I have been with them. They have spent crore and crore of rupees in the SAP and months and months of the hard work from us as well as the other team member to implement it. We have spent a few nights as well in our office to implement this. But they have not set the process. They are bypassing the process in every possible manner. So that's how the process need to be defined. Leadership need to aware that they well just implementing a technology will not do the wonder in the company. So technology parts come later. Technology can do what you have asked them to do. The tools in the market can be defined as per your requirement. Can they can customize accordingly. But if you do not have the process in the right place, then you will be ended up the same situation. And for example, on a paper, if you have prepared a process and accordingly the system has been generated and created and implemented it in your company, and now not following the same, adaptability is very low. You want to do the old things and you want to try the shortcuts, then everything fails. The tool cannot help you in this scenario.
Absolutely. I mean, this is one of the major reason I have seen in a lot of different areas, industries, and geographies where first technology companies try to force their workflow on a procurement team. Now, procurement team workflow is table standard works. It is the matter of digitization, not to enforce them to use a new workflow. And second, obviously, that you have said, even if you have decided, you have to have your people, educate them, empower them to use this solution, and make them a team player to use this solution rather than just forcing on a solution or a process or a new workflow to them. 100%. I mean, I can relate so much here, and I had been having these discussions with so many people, different languages, different geographies, different departments, but the problem statement is this: true. Thank you so much for a very, very candid response. I really appreciate that. Now, AI. Obviously, I mean, no discussion today happens without AI. What do you think? I mean, are you already using AI in some capacities? It's okay. You don't have to use a tool for AI as simple as, the regulars of chat GPTs and Geminis or Bards. Are you already using it? Is your team already using it? And if at all you are using a bigger solution for I would love to know more about that.
So as of now, it's a very limited version available in the AI in terms of AI in our company. Though we are also in a transaction to implement some tools in the procurement department to improve it. Some proposal is under discussion, but as of now, if you want to give me answer, it's a very limited one. But obviously, the AI would be the game changer if we ask for the tools, considering procurement tools. They can give you the historical data. They can guide you about the vendor performance. They can guide you the financial health as well as how this rating of the vendor, what project they have executed previously. Uh, they can give you the price benchmark with the across the markets, demand forecast as well. Uh, AI can handle means 70 to 80%, but yes, human interface is also required. You cannot depend 100% on the AI, even if they will give you a end statement or the summary as well that how this contract should be given and how it should be done. But I guess the 70-80% the AI can help you with all the data, combining all the data. Even with the non-AI tools, you are limited to the data available in the system. When you implement some AI or AI tools or integrate with the AI, can give you the feedback regarding the external environment as well.
Okay, this is gold. This is more than diamond and more than gold. Where you have to, as Rahul said, guys, you have to use AI. If not already using it, you have to use it to some extent. AI can replace your manual mundane work by 70%. You have much more stronger brains in procurement. So AI helps you 70% of your regular manual job, and 30% you put your brains where it is actually required. And that's what scale is all about. Before we close, I understand, March, and then, a lot of things on your plate. But before I leave you, I'll ask you one very direct question. Sitting across, assume that I am somebody who is setting up a moderning or, trying to modernize the processes around procurement in a logistic company today. What are the three things or three guidelines or you'll give me, say that, hey, try to do these three things and you'll get more success?
The top one, your current sourcing process need to be identified. How you want to wish it is and how it is run actually today. How it was in a historical point of view and how it is running today. And identify the 2, 3 more points where most of the time is lost, most of the error happen. Fix those things. Even without the technology, that's also fine. But fix the loopholes in the system and clear your vendor data, clear your material master data with a good tool. With a good tool, if you are not providing the proper data in the tool, it is useless. You are converting a good tool in a bad tool kind of situation. And before buying a software, you fix the internal system first of all. Make sure your team will be ready for the adaptability with the new software. Some challenge might happen in an initial period, but with the help of team and a teamwork, they will overcome with this.
So to summarize for the viewers, you have to have a standard process set up with or without tool. Your process should work. Your data should be sane. You cannot have garbages in your masters and material masters. So your data should be sane. Your data should be relevant, and have the change penetrate throughout. Have a champion of change. Have a change management process. Have a change acceptance process, so that your team is empowered. You are not forcing it to them. Rahul, this was an amazing discussion. I would love to keep on going like this, but obviously, I have to respect your time and respect your availability for today. I really appreciate all the time. This is an amazing discussion. You were all candid, all raw, but 100% all true, directly coming from the heart of a procurement professional. Rahul, thank you so much. For the viewers, this would be out in no time. When you are viewing this, if you resonate with this, if you believe the nuggets shared by Rahul are useful, do share with your peers, colleagues. Thank you so much, Rahul. Thank you so much, guys. On to the next one.
Thank you,
Bye
Rishabh.
bye. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye.